Hello. So I'm just about to do a little review on just a product that I bought and have installed, which is called the Metal Hut Garage Defender. And basically, I just wanted to, before I kind of show you what the product looked like and the installation of it, just go through just a little bit of the background on it. But in essence, I have a garage. It's not at my house. It's a council garage basically. It's where I park one bike. I'm looking to park a second bike there as well. And I've got a lot of security items already on the bike itself. And I am basically increasingly getting more worried, particularly in London with motorcycle theft. And so I'm really kind of investing in the security side of things. So I'm going for things like anchor mounts. I'm going things for like 3 different kind of silver rated locks on the bikes itself when they're in the garage. And one of the other things that I'm looking at is also a basically a lock or a garage defender kind of lock for the garage door itself. So one of the things I've been looking at essentially as you're kind of going through this, but is some of the ones like this, for instance. And that's one thing that my neighbor has, for instance, as well. And Garage Defender, there's a couple of brands that kind of do them as well. So you've got the likes of Squire, very well, very reputable as well. And they're around about the £70 mark here. Similarly, so on Amazon, 63. And typically you get the lock there, the bolts, and a set of keys as well. And what is interesting is that I basically started to have a look, and I think I found something that I think ticks an awful lot of boxes and is potentially a little bit better as well. So I would have probably something like Squire or this one here, but what I didn't like necessarily so much about this kind of design is that in this case there's only 2 bolts. Also, the lock is exposed in this case, and I know it's obviously a very robust lock, but it still feels like it could be more easily tampered with than perhaps the solution I've gone with so far. And also, there's only 2 keys as well, and so the one I've gotten actually has 3 keys. This one similarly. So the nice thing about these, to be fair, is that they're well branded. I think they're made in the UK. And they actually are sold secure, rated to bronze for motorcycles as well, which is pretty good. And I've seen one other one, and I can't remember what it was, but that was rated for silver. Now, as I was kind of looking, one of the ones that I came across was basically also one that I have. This is just another example. So eBay, you do get a little bit more cheaper, but you get the likes of Silverline, which probably many of you know. I'm not a massive fan necessarily of this brand. It generally feels a little bit cheaper than perhaps I would like to do, given I'm investing in a product for security. So long story short, I ended up finding this one here, which is basically from a company called the Metal Hut, and they've got a website as well. So if you go to the metalhut.co.uk, you can find it here as well. Seems like a really nice company, quite small, very much into supplying you with different metal things. But what they have, interestingly enough, is 2 products. One is a ground anchor mount for motorcycles, and the garage door defender. And on the website, probably won't do them a service by saying this, but they basically sell this product for £48.75. And what was really interesting is that on eBay, sorry, here, I'm going to close these. It's actually being sold for £39, which is really nice, actually. And one of the things that I really like about this design is that, first of all, you've got 3 bolts, 10 millimeters each. That's one big bonus. Second is that the bolts come with it. A lot of the times you have to purchase them separately. Third is that it comes with 3 keys. Fourth is that it actually comes with the padlock as well. And 5, which is really kind of the main feature that I liked about it, is that the padlock is completely encased by this design, essentially. And what I think, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think the actual thickness of the metal that's being used is a little bit thicker than others that I've seen. So I purchased it, and what you can also do is you basically have the option to purchase it in different colors. I'll just take you through some of the pictures, but black is the main one. see just here the design of it, what it looks like installed. There you go. The lock itself, which I'll show you in a second. What's also really nice, which a lot of them don't necessarily have, is that the pin bolt, or forget what it's actually called, but it's actually a full inch thick, and a lot of the time they're actually a lot narrower as well, which isn't as good. You can have it in red, in black, as I said, and also in white. So in my case, I actually went for the one in white, which is really helpful. And the last thing I'd probably say is that with some of them, you get a ball bearing that you put in after you've installed it into the bolt itself, and then you ram it in there. So even then, people wouldn't be able to screw it off. But the way that it's been designed, actually, from the side, as you can see here, is that one of the bolts is inaccessible. The other one is just under the door almost, and the other one's inside, so you can't really get to it anyway. And that for me was quite helpful because it's a council garage. I might be asked to remove this at some point in the future. So I wanted something that I might have a chance of being able to remove without needing to get professional help to do that. So I would highly recommend this product. You'll see me kind of go through the installation and the product itself that I got. And I think for the money, I still can't believe how good value that is. The only things I would say that I would improve on it would be, one is that some of the welds, I think in my case, were maybe not as finished as nicely as some of the pictures kind of show it. So you can see here, for instance, oh, come on. Maybe this one's a bit better. Welds here are looking pretty good, and the welds here are looking pretty good as well. In my case, maybe the weld here wasn't as great as perhaps the pictures kind of showed necessarily. So so that is one thing. Maybe just the weld here could be a little bit better. And secondly, if I was them, I'd actually get it sold secure rated, because I have a feeling that actually, like, my gut feel is that it should definitely pass the bronze rating, but it could potentially also pass the silver rating. I'm not sure what the criteria are exactly for it, but from what I can see from others that I've seen as silver rated, I think some of the ways that they've designed this, actually, I think they stand a good chance of that. So, and if that's the case, then there's also benefit with things like insurance, for instance, to help with some of that. So enough chat. With that in mind, I'll finish this this little screen share. But definitely go and see him. I'm not in any way associated with these guys, but yeah, thought it was a really nice, interesting product, and I hadn't seen any videos online of them yet. So there you go. Thanks a lot, and hope you enjoyed the rest of the video. Bye. So just wanted to do a very quick review on something I bought on eBay, and it's basically a garage defender from a company called Metal Hut, which I hadn't heard about before, but it seems like a pretty nice bit of kit. I really like the color actually and the logo. I know that shouldn't matter, but for some reason yeah, it's just nice to be able to pick white rather than the standard black. I think in terms of the quality of it, it looks good. If I maybe had to be a bit picky, the welding maybe could be a little bit better just in there, but I'm going to assume for a second that the actual strength and rigidity of it doesn't compromise with that. And basically, just about to install it, but it's three pins into the ground in concrete, which is good. And you basically place this on the top, like this. And then that basically keeps the garage door shut. And it comes with 3 bolts, as you would expect, and then basically a lock that goes underneath it. So it's basically protecting against being able to be hammered or anything like that. So let's see what it's like to actually install it. But so far I've basically actually, you basically have to have 3 holes, 10 millimeter screws actually, and I've just drilled a couple of pilot holes with 5 mils just to make sure it's okay. And what's nice about this actually, because a lot of them you have to put a ball bearing in at the top, and then it renders it proof or not able to basically nick it or tamper with it. But because this covers the first bolt and the second one is already inside and the third one is as well, you don't need that. So if you ever wanted to remove it later on, you can do, essentially. So great. Well, drilled the pilot holes, and I'm just about to make the 10mm holes a little bit bigger, make them 10 mils, and then stick them in. Great, so I've just drilled out the holes. I think the middle one's not quite as lined up as I would like it to be, but the back one is, and so is the front one. So if anything, I'll put the first 2 bolts in the front and closest towards the outside, and then maybe drill out this last one here if need be. So here we go. The holes are lined up with the pins. Here we go. That one's going in pretty well. Drilled it out a little bit, so I think it should be okay. Brilliant. Let's give it a quick test with it all closed. Right, so I've just managed to screw these all in. I've done it by hand. You can feel them expanding, and this is solid as you like. So my normal lock there, and that one, here we go, goes over there. Now I'll just unwrap that one and let's see how that looks. Cool, so I've just opened up the lock for it, tool zone. It's got a hardened steel pin in there, and basically the way you close it is you literally push it around the back and forward, and it locks into the pin, and then you basically push that there and it comes out, and you can see here just what it looks like. So as you can tell, it's very hard to damage the lock or actually get to it, which is really helpful. And then just a simple job done. And there you go. One pin protected there, another one under the door, and another one inside. So very, very hard to get past this, and by the time you have, you've still got other locks to get through. So what would I give this in terms of the rating? Well, this was actually quite cheap. I forget off the top of my head. I might put it on the screen, but I want to say it was under £50 for sure. So it's definitely cheaper than some of the other ones. And you can see my neighbour there, he's got a, I think it might be the Master Lock Garage Defender. So obviously proper branded, but yeah, I think judging by the steel, I reckon the metal hut is slightly bigger. You can see over there. So assuming the welds are equally strong, if not better, that would be great. That's obviously better, and obviously the mechanism of having the lock completely protected by it, unlike perhaps the Garage Defender in this case, I think makes for something a little bit safer. So would I recommend it? I absolutely would do. They seem to be a very small company that I don't even think they've got the lock certified necessarily as a bronze or a silver, for instance, with the I forget what the organization is called. Probably put that on the screen as well, but I would definitely recommend them, and I think they have a very nice design. So thanks very much for watching, and speak to you later.